Last night's attack in North Belfast was horrifying, appalling and deeply disturbing. This was a brutal act of violence that will have sent shockwaves through the local community and caused huge concern across the city, Northern Ireland and the whole of the United Kingdom. My thoughts, and I'm sure those of the whole of the House, are with the victim whose condition has been described as serious. I also want to pay tribute to the PSNI and members of the public who displayed remarkable courage in stepping in to confront the attacker before the police arrived. The Police Service of Northern Ireland must be given the time and space to carry out a full and thorough investigation, and those responsible must face the full force of the law. However, given the understandable public concerns surrounding the incident, it's vital that the facts are established and we have the transparency that people deserve. Can the Secretary of State confirm the immigration status of the attacker? If, as is reported, the attacker is a foreign national, what steps will the Home Office take? It is urgent the facts are put on the public record to avoid speculation and prevent an information vacuum which the Independent Review of Terror Legislation has warned about. If there has been failings on our borders, this is yet another reminder that we do need stronger borders, and this is why we believe it is time to leave the ECHR. I encourage all who have evidence of the attack to come forward and support the PSNI in its investigation. I join the Secretary of State and all communities in condemning this horrific attack.
Secretary of State.
Well, I am grateful to the honourable gentleman for his comments and for the tone in which he expressed them, because it is, I think, very important that we act responsibly in these circumstances. I agree, as I've already indicated, that information should be made available to the public. The proper procedure in answering his very specific question is for the PSNI to be in contact with the Home Office, which I know they have been doing, in order to establish the facts around the individual. And I would anticipate, as I say, it's proper that the police provide that, as they are leading the investigation, and I anticipate that more information will be made available shortly by the PSNI, is the right and proper approach. I would have to say, however, I do not agree with what he said about the European Convention of Human Rights. It's very important we have it because it protects the liberty of all of us.
Jim Shannon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Can I, first of all, thank the Secretary of State for his well-chosen words, wise words as well, and for his answers. Tensions are inflamed, and at this moment I'm aware of planned protests throughout my constituency of Strangford, and I'm also aware that many of those who intend to attend do so not because they are frightened for their family alone, but instead feel their fears are ignored when they make a good and grand statement. So how can the Secretary of State and this government ensure that people from Portavogie to Newtownards know that their right to peacefully protest is respected, but more than this, that their government, my government, will make changes for safety reasons as a matter of urgency? Thank you so much.
Okay.
Well, I join with the honourable member in reasserting the right of every citizen of our country to protest peacefully. But we have seen in the past that there are those, provoked by others, who sought to use that opportunity to then promote violence and disorder. And I join with him in saying peaceful protest, of course, everyone has the right to express their view. But in the end, if we want to support the PSNI, the last thing people should be doing is stretching their resources across Northern Ireland to deal with protests that aren't going to help anyone and are not going to assist in the furtherance of this investigation, so the perpetrator can be brought to face justice. That is the way we do things in our country, is it?
Jim Allister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We're all shocked by the sheer savagery of this attack, and indeed the only bright spot in this orgy of violence was the brave intervention of local citizens whose courage we salute. But what I want to know, and what I know my constituents want to hear, is what will be done to stop the importation of an alien culture that thinks it's appropriate to try and behead someone within the United Kingdom. And on the immigration status of this person, did they hold a visa before they came to the United Kingdom? Did they obtain a visa having come illegally to the United Kingdom? I think we're entitled to know. And I do say to the Secretary of State, this House should be getting its information from the Secretary of State, not from the press conference of a Chief Constable. And I think the House is entitled to know, because it's truth and transparency which is the greatest antidote to rising tensions. So can we have the answers?
Secretary of State.
Well, I would say I'm sorry that the honourable gentleman used the word alien culture, because what exactly is he referring to? What the British people have had enough of, or anyone from wherever they come, whatever their background, who seeks to commit violence on citizens of the United Kingdom. That is what we together are strongly opposed to. There is a proper procedure that needs to be followed in relation to the release of information. It is a live investigation. I think it is right and proper that the police lead on that, and that is why it is the police who have been in touch with the Home Office and will provide further information. And as soon as I am also able to update the House, I will do so. I am also in favour of as much information as possible being provided once process has been followed to make sure that it can be confirmed.
Julian Lewis.
Whilst I agree with virtually everything the Secretary of State said in his opening response, I really am baffled by his refusal to share with the House a piece of simple information. Did this person come legally into this country and has a 5-year visa because he came legally, or was he given this visa after entering the country illegally? This information will come out sooner or later, and what we have learnt from similar terrible incidents like this is the longer it is withheld, the worse the rumour mill goes into action.
Well, I do understand the last point that the Right Honourable Gentleman makes, but it is very important in these circumstances to be absolutely sure about the facts before they are released. And the proper vehicle for doing that is the PSNI being in touch with the Home Office, which is what has been happening this morning. As the Right Honourable Gentleman may be aware, the police originally said they believed him to be of one nationality. It may well turn out that he is in fact of another nationality, which does demonstrate the point I'm trying to put to the House, that it is important that the police lead on that so that the full facts can come out and then they can be made available to the House and to the country.
Lee Anderson.
Mr. Speaker, of course the Secretary of State will know the answer to this question. Did the assailant enter the United Kingdom as an illegal migrant stroke asylum seeker?
Well, until I am in a position, by talking to the Honourable Gentleman's asked me a question, would he do me the courtesy of allowing me to answer it? Until I am in a position to have that confirmed, I cannot confirm it to the House. As soon as I can, I will. But as I've already explained, it is the PSNI that is leading on answering the very legitimate question that he has asked.
Robin Swan.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. The Right Honourable Member for East Belfast described this incident as medieval. It wasn't just medieval, it was pure evil when we saw what happened on the streets of the United Kingdom. And while tribute has been paid for those members of the general public who stepped in and the emergency services that responded, can I also seek a reassurance from the Secretary of State that those members of the general public who stepped in will actually be recognised and not be persecuted or prosecuted for the actions that they actually took in regards to attacking that individual? And can I also encourage the Secretary of State to come forward and fill the vacuum of information that's out there, because he does know more than I think he is telling the House at this minute in time in regards to this incident.
State.
It was an act of pure evil. I agree with the Honourable Gentleman in saying that. I'm surprised that he suggests there's any possibility of those who came to the aid of the victim should be at risk of prosecution because they were trying to save him when judging by the footage, when the attacker was trying to inflict great harm upon him. And my judgment, having looked at that, is what they did was proportionate and fair. But that is for others to judge. It is important that they are recognised. I've already indicated the House. As soon as I have information that is confirmed and which I can be sure of, I will inform the House.
Gregory Capp.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Tens of thousands of people are horrified at the circulation online of the video that the Secretary of State has alluded to. And while he quite rightly congratulates the members of the public who intervened, and they did, whether it was a hurl bat or a cricketing bat, they took action. But what we need to see now, as tension rises, we need to see government action to restrict and inhibit people arriving in this country illegally, some of which carry out the actions that we saw on the streets of Belfast last night.
Well, the honourable gentleman will be well aware of the action that the government is taking to deal with illegal migration. And I've also made clear to the House the steps we take if anyone, however they came to the country or whether they are from this country, commits a criminal offence, they will face due process. And any foreign national, regardless of how they came, who abuses our hospitality and commits crimes, can expect to be deported at the end of their sentence.
Cole Lockhart.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My thoughts are very much with the victim of this horrific attack last night, and I want to also echo the calls for calm in our communities. Communities in Northern Ireland are angry, they are demanding answers, and they deserve answers. Sadly today, I don't feel they're getting those answers, and it's not lost on the people of North Belfast, who is in this place today speaking up for working class communities who are very concerned about uncontrolled immigration and the fact that many houses now, that mayors won't even tell how many houses they have full of immigrants. So my question is, was this individual known to the authorities? How many other from the same country are currently being accommodated in Northern Ireland? How did they enter the UK? And what action this government is taking to prevent abuse of our immigration system, including via the land border within the Republic of Ireland?
Well, I say to the honourable member that the public are right to be angry about what they witnessed in that appalling video and what they have heard about the attack that took place. As I've already indicated to the House, I mean, some of the questions that she's asked I will endeavour to come back to her on. Others will be provided in due course once the facts have been checked. It's really important that the facts are checked before information is given to the House, because I wouldn't want to stand here and say one thing and it turns out that is not the case. So checking that thoroughly is a responsibility on me before I inform the House, and that is what I intend to do.
Richard Tice.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Calm is essential after this horrific, brutal attack. We all know that. The Secretary of State has referred to further information coming out as we speak. Will he therefore commit to returning to this House later today, if possible, to update the House on the important information around the suspect and any other information?
I'm very happy to say to the honourable gentleman I will report to the House in an appropriate form as soon as I am able to do so.